Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for inviting me to be here this evening. I would first like to congratulate the Population Foundation of India for the very meaningful contribution and commitment they have made over the last 50 years to create a better understanding of India's population needs. Mr. Ratan Tata and others that supported him in founding these institutions should feel very proud today at the achievements that have been made. However, while India has made many advances in improving the well-being of its population, much still remains to be done. The future of India will be driven, without any doubt, by the young population of more than 370 million people. And if we are to meet our commitments to achieve population stabilization and contribute to national aspirations of a $5 trillion economy by 2024, we must focus and invest in the young citizens of the future. Let me just touch on a few areas which I think are important. The first, I think, very clearly would be education. Here we take great pride in our institutions and our centers of excellence, but we will need to spend much more focus and attention to primary and secondary education institutions where facilities are inadequate and attendance is poor. The next, perhaps, is employment, which is probably the greatest challenge that we have in the coming years, where joblessness of the young will be a threat to the stability and well-being of our population. We have to understand and we have to be sensitive to the needs of the underprivileged and the underserved as we look into the future. Good health and nutrition is another important element where we are losing a very high number of infants due to malnutrition and poor access to health care. Anemia, stunting, and wasting is a huge concern and affects the lifelong good health and welfare, mental health, physical health of our population, and deters them from contributing as they should. Gender discrimination is also an unfortunate element of the landscape. It separates men and women, discriminates against women, and denies our population of equal opportunity throughout our environment. All that I've tried to say is that these are problems that are our problems, not just the government, but the government and citizens together, it affects where India stands, it affects the future of the country. People are going to be the most important element of our civilization in the future. And all of us who believe in the tremendous future potential of India need to realize that if we are to succeed in creating a nation that we want to see, it needs to be a nation of equal opportunity, based on merit rather than influence, where working together spells strength and goodwill, where success is viewed with pride rather than in envy. All this will come through the better understanding of the tremendous asset we have, which is our population. But it's a two-edged sword. It can be the strength of the century, or it could be the calamity of our century. And my hope is that we can work together, the government, the private sector, is the sense of belonging and the sense of commitment to making India a strong nation that is looked up to in every aspect. But it calls for commitment, it calls for cooperation, and I hope that that this institute will give it the attention and continue to give it the necessary focus that it will need to have. I urge that each of us citizens understand that we have a responsibility too. It's not merely the government, and it's not only the private sector, but it's an issue that deals with all Indians now and in the future. I hope you will share with me a commitment, silent as it may be, towards this goal. We all love our country and we would like to see it prosper, and people are our greatest asset. So the young person who is the India of tomorrow is going to be the astrologer, if you will, or the means of making India as great as we'd like it to be. I hope you'll share that with me. Thank you very much.